Hey guys, how you doing? Let me know if you can hear. We can get started. Yeah, a little faint. All right, well, do the best we can do. Let me know if this is any better or not. Check, check. Check, check. All right, it seems to be picking me up all right. Better, that's great. All right. All right, we'll just get going here. Let me adjust my screen tight. All right, so just looking at SPX real quick, bumping up to 6,700, right? We'll get into the game plan in a second while we were going through all that good stuff. Kind of stalling out right at 6,690. There's a lot of, looking at a lot of activity there. All right, anyways, just level setting where we were this morning, going through the pre-market prep real quick, right? I'm not going to go through this whole thing like we did a full YouTube live video on it. It's in the Discord as well. You guys can go give that a read. Just quickly going through it, right? Call or SPXA, SPXP full complexes. That's where we always start, getting kind of a global, kind of higher time frame level of how the market is looking. Call dominated, both perspectives. They're looking at SPXP key level to keep. Top of our transition, 6650 going to be key level there. Gex ratios, all that good stuff looking fine here. Delta balance looking fine. If you guys have questions on any of these tools, let me know. My default assumption is you guys do, but if you don't, then feel free to put some in the chat. We can go over it. Yeah, looking at the 0DT complex right here, junk into the range 75, middle of the transition 6650, 55, kind of key level today when we got a little bit of sell off at the open. Then 6620 bottom of the range, right? And then in the Discord we have a ton of if-then statements based off those key levels, just analyzing what the structure looks like. Distribution and speculation is how we come up with that. Above 6675, right? Obviously 6700 is kind of the key level, top of the range that we're looking at right now. A couple of speed bumps along the way would be 80 and then 90. We're kind of at 90 right now, so pay attention to that. Above 90 could be going to 6700. A couple things that we're looking at intraday. One, looking at our intraday volume analysis tool, right? Had a nice trend higher all day. This is SPX 0DT volume, looking at call and put centroids, which effectively is just kind of the middle of the distribution. We look at that on 5 minute over 5 minute basis. We plot those throughout the session just to understand what the trend of speculation is. Is it higher, which in this case calls are continuing to push higher. That is good for upside momentum, right? Upside continuation. Days where we see flat call centroids is where we don't get any move higher, right? It makes sense, right? Price follows where transactions are transacting or where activity is not happening, price is not likely to go. So that's the exact reason we track this. Very useful tool day over day, easily the most popular tool that we reference on an intraday basis, which isn't surprising because this is SPX 0DT volume, so it should be. 6700 looming large overhead, right? Not able to see that speculation build higher above 6700. So as for now, that's the top of the market. So until we see kind of that next impetus moving higher, yeah, kind of is what it is right now. If you think 6700 is going to be kind of top for the day, not going above that, then obviously that influences how you're going to be trading. Whether you want to do selling premium above, maybe you think we're going to pin 6700. I don't know what 6752 means on ES. Cool. What's the offset to ES? I'm not going to do the math, but you can put it in there if you want. So yeah, right. If you think 6700 is kind of the top of the market, right? Sell premium above that. Do flies, pinning 6700, right? So just something to keep in mind there. Put centroid has been moving higher all day, so right, no fear of like a waterfall lower because we just haven't gotten that speculation lower either. So that's kind of how you use that tool. Looking at our market trend model, again, this is just built off the back of the tick index, so just kind of a measurement of buying and selling kind of happening under the hood of the market. Aggregates a bunch of different exchanges. Appreciate it, James. Do our best. Um, Sorry, lost my train of thought there. But yeah, cumulative tick, moving higher throughout the session. Once we got, I think it really probably started with that NVIDIA news announcement. So that's been progressing higher. Filter tick, which is the most important thing intraday, right? Because this is how we measure if there's large, significant buying or selling transactions coming to the market. It's when this filter tick triggers. So, right, that's been moving higher kind of in a linear fashion throughout the afternoon. Good to see. RSP, that's what this, what is this color? Neon. That's what this neon color is. Obviously the sell-off kind of gap down to open, then just been making higher highs, higher lows throughout the session. So that is good to see. So yeah, I mean, that's really what we got on 0 to ET basis anyways. Right, failing to get over 6,700. James, you're saying 6,750. Yeah, I mean, that's basically where we are too. So yeah, appreciate it, James. We're only as good as a community, so really try to foster a good community. That's why we do these YouTube lives all the time and all that good stuff. So yeah, happy to transition and kind of intraday single stock analysis as well, swing trading, if you guys want to get into that. Any questions on 0 to ET, let me know. Happy to go over it more. And that's what a lot of people are into. STX overbought. Don't even know what STX is. Seagate. Seagate Technologies. Sure, it looks a little bit extended, but right, things crash higher from overbought signals and crash lower from oversold signals. So just because it's overbought doesn't mean it can't go higher. I've never really looked at STX before, to be honest with you. Seagate, I mean, not a ton of depth in their options market. 157,000 contracts. That's not nothing, but it's not a million either. In terms of overbought, I mean, 230 is kind of where the dominant speculative level is right now. So I would not be getting long here. In terms of selling, right, locking in some partial profits, right. Thought of that is if it continues to go higher, it's kind of a mental health thing where you at least are still participating in that move. But if it starts to retrace, cool off a little bit, then you at least sold some up here. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I don't like that view. Sorry for doing that. STX, yeah, and then I just have these simple sorry, yeah, I was looking at the 15-minute chart, not the 1-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly extended, but you could have said it's extended here and it ramped another 15 points. So this is just where you have to have a plan and execute on your plan. And once you're out of the trade, then you can't let what happens get in your brain, steal from your emotional capital, right? Because that was not a part of your trade plan. Cannot commit to the woulda, shoulda, coulda fund, all that good stuff. So, I mean, if you're in this name and you're happy with the move up today and significant profits, then feel free to lock them in. But if you're trying to capture every single top and every single bottom, you're gonna have a disappointed life here trading. Just letting you know. So, Michael, let me know if that answers your question or not. Looking at Qs. Yeah, and guys, it's just a simple script that we produce. You guys can upload this, make an indicator out of TradingView, and it's all there for you. It does not update automatically, right? TradingView does not offer automatic integrations with outside platforms, so you have to copy and paste this. You only really need to do it once a day. You don't need to do it every single time it produces throughout the session. Just letting you know that there. We get that common question a lot. QQQ, yeah, I mean, it's ramping. It's above its plus GEX COI levels right now, so it's certainly had a very nice move. Let's take a look at it again. Yeah, I mean, 600, just looking at the distribution of speculation, right? 159,000 contracts were open as of this morning. Obviously, that's changed intraday, but looking at all expirations, this gives us a very good picture. So yeah, I mean, the market can certainly move higher here. But yeah, all that to say, in the coming days, we want to see this 600 continue to move higher ahead of spot price. all moves that have sustainability to them have that key speculation overhead, right? It's our opinion that that markets are moved by out of money call and put speculation. So if the dominant speculation is below spot price rather than above, that's an issue. Does that answer your question, Sai? But getting back to the swing trading overview real quick, then we'll get back into kind of the various things we do. So, right, gamma edge swing trading, we apply options market analysis to individual equities for swing trading, right? What we do is fractal in nature, so what works on one equity works on another, assuming, right, liquid deep, options market, all that good stuff. And then what works on one time frame will work on another time frame as well. So with that said, right, key part of the game plan first is SPX game plan, zooming out the SPXA, SPXP full complex, right, gives us that good detail, kind of not exactly what's happening on the 5 minute chart on the 0DT time frame, but overall, you know, is more of a kind of sustained move higher, sustained move lower, sideways environment. Then we layer in the market trend model to again help us understand on a multi-time frame analysis, both you know, 1 day to 1 week to 1 week to 3 weeks, what the market is doing. And from there, that kind of tells us, okay, is it a good environment to be getting long, getting short, or sizing down, sizing up, you know, expecting chop, all that good stuff. So that's exactly what we go through in the game plan. You guys are feel free to read that. We have the YouTube live we did this morning. You guys can go watch that as well. I'm not going to go through all of it. What I will go through though is because there's kind of 3 strategies that we do when it comes to time trading. Well, really 2 strategies, and then kind of I'll show you how to do the discretionary thing that I do. But right, it starts out with P-trans to plus GEX. That's our 100% mechanical back-tested strategy. You know exactly what you're going to do the night before. So like this morning, right, if you had room in your portfolio, we're getting J&J triggered as an entry, TSM triggered as an exit. And this is our live portfolio we've been running since July of 2023. You can see it's a very high win rate strategy, positive expectancy. Yes, losers are bigger than winners, but right, that's when it's almost 75% win rate takes care of that. So not an issue. Year to date, similar statistics to overall. Current portfolio looks like this, heavily weighted, right? And Meta, Adobe, all that good stuff. That's fine. Going back to this, if you go to quick plug, because we are sponsoring this video, it's supposed to be funny. If you go to GameEdge.us/free courses, GameEdge FastPass, everything I'm talking about today and more is explained here. It's basically everything that paid members get. You get our tools, methodologies, frameworks, education pieces on how to use the tools, all that good stuff. You can get that for free right there. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. Keep in mind, you don't have to trade options for the benefit from this, but like if you're denying that the options market is not impacting overall markets, then I would encourage you to read this, and it may give you a little bit different, something else to consider, right? Not telling you to radically do how you're trading and stuff, especially if you're successful, but this can be a good complement to what you're doing, kind of giving you, you know, confluence with, you know, if you're trading just a chart, the technicals you're seeing, what's kind of happening under the hood, all that good stuff. And then, right, we go into the P2P strategy, or you can read that article right here where it goes over all that good stuff. So with that strategy, we're implementing an automated wheel strategy. So the wheel is nothing new. If you're familiar with option strategies, it's simply, you know, selling puts. Ideally, those stocks are strong in nature, so you just collect the premium. But if you do get assigned, then it's a name you want to hold. You have a better cost basis, then, you know, you can start selling calls against it. Hopefully it rips higher, you know, gets called away from you, and then you just restart the process over and over again. So that's our goal with this is we're looking for those strong stocks that are trending higher. So we apply, right, the Minervini trend template to kind of just identify those stocks that have momentum behind them, and then applying, you know, call dominated environments, just kind of game edge flair to it to kind of better narrow down that that watch list to the right. So, you know, technically has momentum, then call dominated above and below spot price, which is bullish foundation. All good stocks trending higher have that characteristic. So that's the wheel strategy. And then there's some other nuances to it. You know, like we tell you the exact strike you should be looking at based off the RU, which is the return on the options contract itself, all that good stuff. So you can go check that out. And what we also do is in the swing plan. Every morning I put out a bull and a bear watch list. Simply just what that is using our data, filter it, you know, just above 2150 EMAs, just because that's what the market focuses on, right? So they respect those levels. So that's just a simple filter again we can use for momentum stocks. Want to make sure that they're call dominated above and low spot price, ample liquidity in the options market as measured by kind of beginning of the day open interest. And then, yeah, those stocks, those are produced. You can just put those right in your trading view if you want to. So I have the bull list here. I have the bear list here. And then, right, so bear list, right, even if you don't short stocks, these are just stocks just you don't want to be long right now because they're put dominated. And then the bull stocks, right, you can just quickly rifle through those, see if any of them look interesting to you. The only stock I currently had on right now is I got long Nvidia on Friday, and you know, lucky me, had that news announcement, so that worked out well. Still in that name. It's coming up to COTMC, so no surprise it's seen a little rejection there. See, it was holding P trans perfectly on Friday and into Monday today. There's no reason to exit the trade. Then they got that nice rip. So with that, that's kind of the pillars of how we think about it, go about it, right? Then we just, you know, in the Discord itself, you know, we're discussing all day. You know, we got, I don't know, 50, 60 people live in there right now in a voice channel, various channels, you know, we're chatting through. So all that to say, you know, got some good stuff going on there. But anyways, not the point here to answer your questions. So let's look at Meta. TT, I hope you're still with me. Meta. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Yeah, so Meta, unfortunately, breaking down here. Losing its levels. Let's look at it on the dashboard here. Okola's been ripping to the moon, so. Yeah, so the key level in Meta to hold right now is 775. That's just the top of the transition zones where it starts to get really into a call dominant environment. So want to see that level hold. Unfortunately, right now it is breaking down. You know, kind of from a price action analysis on the daily chart, just kind of a chop range, kind of in between this whole level here. We can see, you know, zooming into the hourly chart, kind of starting to break down a little bit. 770 looks to be key level, negative GAX, so don't want it to lose that. Weekly chart is just simple pullback right now, but yeah, I'm not compelled to do anything in Meta right now. SMCI is super micro. Yeah, so I mean, it's up at plus GEX, rejected there on the day, so no surprise. Looks like it's kind of starting to turn from the downtrend it was in. Let's go look here. And right, those are all the more brilliant thoughts you're going to get me on like a TA point of view is, you know, obviously it was moving lower, gap down on earnings. Now it's reversing, trending higher. So, you know, don't keep it any harder than that. It's above P-trans. So above P-trans, trending higher, like, you know, don't need to get super more complex than that in my opinion. So yeah, looking here, 45 is definitely the key level we want to hold. Obviously 48 kind of where the short-term speculation is sitting. We do have speculation built out overhead, right? No doubt about it. We just need to reclaim 48 first, get that under us, and then that should help us to get to 50. Let me see when expiration is. Expiration is is the 17th. Yeah, so the weekly expiration this week, 48. Definitely a key level. I mean, 50, 53 even, wow. Speculation all the way up to 60. So yeah, I mean, SMTI is honestly not the worst stock, to be honest with you. Don't hate it. Got us a it should have showed up in the bull list. SMCI. I did not. Wonder why. CNVA, Carvana. It's not in the script. Let's go look at it here. CVNA. Yeah, I mean, this looks fine too. It looks kind of weird because right, they opened up some strikes with no activity there yet. But yeah, I mean, 290, top of the transition. I mean, really, 280 is kind of the key level you want to see hold. And Carvana 400, first target to the upside. Want to see speculation continue to build out, right? 30, 50. Yeah, so I mean, looking at this coming monthly expiration, right? Targeting up to 450. It's definitely has room to run higher. 420 if we aggregate all strikes until expiration. So yeah, I mean, this looks fine as well. Nothing I see that's alarming. Obviously, right, guys, like I'm not going to drill into every single tool, but you know, if you're looking at these on a swing trading time frame, like what you want to do is you want to look at CVNA, like look at its GEX ratio, look at its delta balance. Those are just two good things to see. Yeah, so looking at Carvana's GEX ratio, right, this is just a measurement of cumulative call to cumulative put gamma. So think of it like a put call ratio, but in our opinion, it's more superior. Reason being is that it includes an element of time because it's based off gamma, right? And gamma is more sensitive to at the money and at expiration, so it naturally weights more near-term speculation, which is what we care as traders. So right, you know, we saw a massive peak last week, obviously getting overheated. I mean, Carvana is still a bit overheated here. Would like to see, you know, kind of a further reversion back into the middle and then continue higher. Reason for that is because you can think like a sprinter or a marathon, like they're kind of at the end of the race right now, as opposed to you'd rather see them like starting out, all that good stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. Looking at our delta balance tool, this is just, right, benefit of options is that they're inherently forward-looking in nature, so we can look out in time to see how speculation is positioned in those future expirations, right, which just the price chart doesn't give you. So we can see a fairly strong, right, pinned at 1, so oscillator between -1 and 1. You can see the week of 10, it's probably 10-10, if I was to guess. Yeah, the week of 10-10, a little bit of weakness coming in. That's a week before expiration, monthly expiration, but the monthly expiration looks strong as well. So yeah, I mean, Carvana looks fine right now. Maybe a little bit extended just in terms of like the incremental call buyer needing to come in, but it looks okay. Ollie, is that helpful? Sherman wants to look at Okala. Okay, hello. Yeah, Okala looks kind of goofy because so many strikes have been opened up because this thing is just mooned, right? Okay, hello. Yeah, I mean, this thing's just been a nuclear reactor higher. You get it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to do here. Like, same thoughts I have with STX. Like, it's ripped higher, so what's your plan for getting out if you're in this name? If you're, like, asking to get long this name now, my answer is no. It's already had a heck of a move, so it's already up, you know, well past its key kind of upside levels. So, keep that in mind. Sherman, let me know if that helps or not. AMD, I was looking at this one earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's above P-trans, which is good to see. Yeah, not a ton else. I mean, it's just like struggling to go over last week's highs, so just something to keep in mind there. Let's go to this. Yeah, so I mean, it looks fine, right? Like above 155, looking up to 170, you know, speculation all the way up at 200. I mean, looking at the path to the monthly expiration, like 180, so kind of your roadmap, 170 up to 180. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good here. So looking at the Qs, wanting to see any weakness coming. Well, let's just look at this. Is probably the best thing to do. EBH, QQQ. TT, I'll get to your question in a second. Yeah, so Qs looks fine, right? There's a lot of historical data in here. Don't necessarily need, but looking at it in time, I'll just do a different version so it looks a little bit better. Long story short, right, like looking at it in time over the next 5 expirations, like still pinned at 1, so it looks fine. No weakness really right now that I can see, so hopefully that answers your question. Obviously you can go look at the dashboard, you know, flip through all this good stuff, see what's happening. Yeah, it's got a ton of expirations, all right. Do all that, do that. Yeah, so I mean 600, right? Through next monthly expiration 600, so we want to see that move higher. So just keep that in mind. Then going back to this again. Yeah, so this week, I don't love that out of money call speculation is moving lower. That's not ideal, but right, overall still pinned at 1, so that's fine. So question, once COTMC is hit, what do we do? Yeah, I mean, that's really where the distribution of speculation comes, like just using COTMP as an example. Right, like if we got up to 67.21, yeah, like if we got up there, we would expect to see some monetization, you know, 61.75. You know, there's a ton of speculation up there as well, right? You can kind of think about it like pushing up and down a hill. That's why we have these drunken sailor ranges, because right, you can see like once you break out a transition, how, you know, the positioning is increasing significantly, right? From 83, the synthetic open interest, 83 up to, you know, 2,700 contracts. You're like pushing a boulder up that hill because you have the negative charm pushing down on you. And so, right, the top of the drunken sailor range is kind of used to identify those inflection points or those goalposts where it's going to be tough to break over it. But if we get that intraday volume analysis, that intraday buying via the filter tick to come in, that's going to help propel us higher. And we're going to flip those kind of large goalpost strikes from weighing down on us to being supportive. And then the boulder can kind of roll down the hill and then start working its way up the next plateau. So, I mean, that's the same way that we look at this. Like, first off, above COTMC, like, there has been a massive move, probably call buying, you know, supporting move higher throughout the session, filter tick, all that good stuff. So you would need to see that continue to press higher, and then from there, it's really, right, it's just really moving the boulder up the hill from there. So you know, 67.60 ultimately is the highest upside target on this in this dashboard for the day. Obviously, that's not realistic for it to happen on an intraday basis, but you just asked for an example. And so yeah, that's the way we look at it, really. You know, moving up 67.35 is going to be kind of a key inflection point, and then from there, really can roll all the way down the hill to 70 and then work its way up to 60. Can you show an example? I mean, I'll just go through mine. It's like the same thing pretty much, so. The wheel. Yes, I mean, we have in here, we tell you all the stocks that are triggering for the wheel. There's detailed trade logs, right, like Paul has prepared in his own trade channel that we go through. So like, right, like here's the equity curve to date. Well, that's from July. I mean, it doesn't really matter though, but swear he had a different one in here. Yeah, but whatever. That's like from July, to present day. That's using the wheel, intraday SPX 0DT trading, P2P trading. Oh wait, no, sorry. This is just a wheel. So this is just a wheel strategy, right? I forget the stat he said yesterday. I think there's been. Does it tell you the trades? Oh, sorry. All of this is from. Okay, here's the overall equity curve from January 25. This is inclusive of P2P, 0DT, and intraday volume, and the wheel strategy. I swear he said like out of the 100 wheel trades we've done this year, I think only a few have been assigned. We can go back. You can listen to the open mic from last night and confirm that, but it's something crazy like that. But I'll show you a trade I did because it's very similar to his. Obviously, it was in NVIDIA. Another one was, wait, you can see I took NVIDIA on Friday. Reason being is, right, it broke above prior day high, which is criteria for me to enter, and then it's above P-trans. We can see Friday it perfectly held P-trans, breaking up a prior day high, room up higher for it to move. So, right, easy risk to reward trade there. And I just sold some premium below and just letting that melt away now. Other examples, right? Every trade is posted in this channel that I do. AMAT was another trade that we got in. Caught that nice ramp higher. Trying to see where the original. Oh yeah, so I got in on whatever that day is. We'll just go to this real quick. Right, and these are just all alerted from those scans that we produce. Right, I got in on Monday the 15th, so last Monday. Reason being is, right, massive move higher, technical term for you. Then a consolidation day, right? Then we broke above high of that prior day, signal to enter the trade. We were above P-trans, and then, ripped higher. Gosh dang it, ripped higher again today. So, all right, we had a conversation about this on open mic yesterday. Like, you got to understand what your strategy is and then stick to it. So as an example, like if you're selling premium selling premium as your entry point, as your kind of vehicle of choice, then like when you get these massive move higher, you're just not going to capture those moves. You're going to get what you're going to get, and then you're going to get out of it, right? So yeah, it sucks that it's, ramps whatever 12% from when I got out of it, but like my trade worked, and that's just part of the plan, part of the strategy I had for that. So don't really care what's happening after that. DT, does that answer your question? I mean, it's effectively the same thing, right? Like, whether you're just looking at the trades that I put in or you're looking at the wheel strategy, like, the stock's moving higher, we're getting into the name, ideally, 50, 70, 75% of the premium collected, then we're going to get out of it. Yeah, there's the AMAT trade. Yeah, we don't use the GEX levels. Our automated strategy is for, our strategy is just using the option structure itself. And then I believe our exit rules are like 50% of premium collected. Looking for a rule of 1%. I don't know, we're gonna be putting a document on it, fairly soon this week sometime. So yeah, our open mic we did last night and a couple weeks ago, we had a pretty decent detail on it as well. And this started just like most of our things are just discussion amongst the community on different things they were doing, we were doing, how we could help. And so yeah, I mean, this thread started. Wish there was an easy way. Yeah, Scott, I'll get to your question in a second. Yeah, so this literally started because the Goose, right, a member of ours, was saying he wanted to know more about the wheel strategy. And Paul's been doing the wheel strategy for a long time. annualized weighted return on the options, you know, all that methodology. And so we're just simply applying the Gamma Edge framework to it as well to help us find those better criteria. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, it's exactly what I do is, you know, I'm finding those stocks that, you know, are on my bull list because have momentum higher, they're call dominated, and then I'm just simply looking to see, okay, are they, I have a little bit of TA like tilt to it, like I just want to see good consolidation, you know, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, like Nvidia, I sold below, I forget what, I think I sold 175s maybe because I wanted to hold above P-trans, and then yeah, just let the premium melt away as it should be moving higher. And if it breaks below, you know, whether the kind of low of the candle you used to get into the name or breaks below P-trans or plus GEX, and that signal to you that like, hey, my directional thesis is probably wrong in the name. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, but Roblox is an example. Like, here's a good name, right? Holding 0 GEX, holding P-trans. Would like to see a break above prior day high. It looks like it did earlier in the session. I just wasn't paying attention. And so this is a name, right? Like, clearly, if it breaks below 0 GEX P-trans, you're wrong, and you should get out of the name. I generally try to sell 2 weeks out. Really depends on the liquidity of the name. Like, I only try to mess with the most liquid stocks. So generally they have 2 weeks out is fine liquidity. Like Microsoft, I didn't see Microsoft on UNH. Someone said UNH. Yeah, we sold. That was actually another name we got in around here at a nice move higher, which I mean, it's not about P-trans, so not a valid entry for myself, but pretty good price action today. So TT, hopefully that's helpful. Scott, what do you mean by options market structure rather than GEX levels? Yeah, I mean, GEX levels is only one little component of options market analysis, in our opinion, right? Like Gamma became very sexy buzzword, but Gamma only matters if price is moving. Okay, there's a lot of other Greeks. Delta is the most important Greek. I'm just going to go to this because it'd be easy to explain it. Or, well, we'll start with the game plan, right? So, Scott, are you even still listening? Yeah, I mean, TT, for what it's worth, like, think we have some value based off what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in our community are selling premium, whether it's on a multi-day time frame or 0DTE. So, I like selling premium too, so would love to continue the conversation. Yeah, Scott, so yes, Gamma is one function of it, right? Like everyone loves to say Gamma, Gamma squeeze, whatever. But this is a net stat chart. This is just a summary of 3D surface models. I'm just going through this because it's just outlining the key Greeks that we pay attention to. There's Delta, Charm, Gamma, and Vanna. Delta is the most important Greek, hands down, because that's the actual physical buying and selling of transactions. That is a direct measurement of risk, right? Then we have Charm, which is like the decay of Delta through time. Gamma, you know, has to how fast Gamma or Delta is accelerating. So, right, if we're moving through key sensitivity points in the structure where Gamma is relevant, then that's where they're important. But Gamma in and of itself doesn't matter if price isn't moving. That's right where Delta and Charm are way more important on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully that answers your question, and that's really the whole thing that we do around like our intraday volume or our pre-market plan around like SPX 0DT is we're looking at the distribution of speculation here on the open and synthetic open interest, which is a representation of Delta, which is your ultimate representation of risk. We're not looking at Gamma, so to speak, to be like, oh, big Gamma levels, right? Yes, those are important, but that's only important if price is like accelerating through those or coming through those levels, because is what's flipping Delta. At the end of the day, moneyness is what matters, meaning out of the money or in the money, and the associated limiting or decaying of those deltas towards 1 or 0 or -1. hopefully that helps, Scott. I know that's a lot, especially right if you're not familiar with it, but exactly why we have the Game Edge Fast Pass, because we go through all of that stuff for you. So hopefully, you find that helpful. Because right, you can see. I'll just go through the Game Edge Fast Pass real quick so you can see it, right? So, setting the stage, we go through, introduction to modern markets, i.e. why options market analysis is important, SPXA versus SPXP, overview of market makers. Then we go into trend analysis, sentiment analysis, structure analysis, go over frameworks, whether you're a 0DT trader, SPX 0DT trader or swing trader, strategies, all that good stuff. So, yeah, give it a go if you think that may be interesting. But all right, so that's been 45 minutes. I appreciate your guys' time. I'm going to go get some more water now. But appreciate the time. We'll see y'all later. Thank you.